And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 867. Today is Tuesday, I believe, but possibly Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, January 5th, 2022. And I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10ish. And today is definitely one of those 10ish days. Top story, Solana hit with another network incident causing degraded performance. Hemp grower crowdfunds court case tokenizes shares in settlement. Top Bitcoin mining country, Kazakhstan, turns off internet amid protests. New LGBTQ token aims for equity but raises red flags for community. Blockchain and the metaverse make inroads at Consumer Electronics Show. And Airbnb users want crypto payment options, according to CEO during a Twitter poll. That and much more. But first, of course, let me go ahead and bring up these prices at the same time as I'm bringing up this chat, because Bitcoin Zay is in here today. He had a meeting today. So looking at the prices today, not much change. Again, we're going sideways. It looks like Bitcoin's coming in down 1.35% at $46,691. Ethereum is at $3,818, down 1.45%. Binance Coin at $513, down 1.14. You got Solana at number 5 at $168, down 2.8%. Cardano at $1.33, down 1.22%. XRP at 82 cents, down 1.71%. You got Terra at number 9 at $85. Goodness gracious, down 3.78%. Terra had an amazing year. Then you have Polkadot rounding it off at the 10th spot at $30, and it looks like it's flat. Didn't go up or down. Oh, there we go, up 0.03% for $30.06. There you have it right in front of you. And of course, in honor of Bitcoin Zay, since he isn't here, let's look at these biggest gainers. I'm glad he started. This is hilarious. We got Brainiac Farm. Brains is up 1,645.67%. You got Looney up 1,097%. And you got Ninja Floki. How many Flokis am I going to see this year? Like, that's going to be the real question. How many Floki tokens will come out? But that's up 816.76%. So it looks like there are still those big 10x plus gains to make in the market as well. Very interesting to see. Also, I want to mention, again, people, I know you're looking at what prices was last year, what's happening this year, what's happening that year. Some of the best advice I can give you is start off with a blank slate, right? You're back even. You didn't lose anything. You didn't gain anything. I mean, for some of you who might be at a loss, I wouldn't even concern yourself with it. Look at the market as being back even. You know, at the beginning of January of this year, we're looking at Solana at $168. Looking at the price point of that, looking at the value of the project, and looking at everything that goes into the project. If you think it's still an Ethereum competitor, how many years has Solana been out? A couple at most, and it's only $168. You should be looking at it from that point of view moving forward, not necessarily, oh, well, last year it had this big game, and the year before it had these big gains, or so on and so forth. Because I can guarantee usually when you're looking at those gains, you're looking at it in terms of USD. You're not looking at it in terms of Bitcoin or what the price of Bitcoin did at the exact same time or during the same time frames. So again, I say all that to start the year off with a blank slate. Look at these projects almost as new as far as what they're doing this year, and so on and so forth as far as their roadmaps. All right, let me go ahead and give some quick shout outs really quick. What's going on? Cornelius Broadnox, Lawrence Sanders, Gu Remy, Wendy Nichols, Cedric. Let me see, this screen is actually loading for a second. Ko Singh said, get in on Chainlink now before it runs the rest of 2022. Yeah, Chainlink did die down from last year. You know, it was in top 10 for a little bit, I believe. What's going on, James, Michael Kennedy, Crypto Boy, Rico? Yes, make sure we smash that like and share, of course. Kadeem, you're funny. Talking about some laughing at LMAO at the LGBT coin. Yeah, we'll be talking about that in a second. What's going on, Leroy? Be the Bynums. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show, everyone. And again, thank you to everyone who joined the Q&A yesterday. It was a great Q&A. What I will say, which is, you know, I'm assuming we're doing a better job with the updated videos as far as displaying this stuff, because we definitely did not have as many questions as we had for the first two Q&As. So again, I know it's some repeat people who came back, but glad to see that those questions are getting answered, and you know, everybody was able to get some information from that. So shout out that. All right, let me get started on this show, because if you heard at the beginning, there's a ton of stories I definitely want to cover today. And I want to give each of them the proper time. Top story of the day, Solana hit with another network incident causing degraded performance right after I say something about Solana. It's like my coach used to tell me, say you do a good play, I give you a pat on the ass, and then the next play is bad and you shit in my hand. So it's kind of like that with Solana right now. I just gave him a pat on the ass just so they could shit in my hand. Solana reportedly went offline for 4 hours on Tuesday. However, Solana status shows there have been no issues on the network. That's right. The Solana blockchain has suffered a third incident in just a few months that clogged the network and caused transactions to fail, with users debating whether it was caused by another distributed denial of service attack, DDoS, or if it was just network issues. The scale and nature of the incident are hard to ascertain, with Coinbase, Woo Blockchain, and Redditors reporting there had been an incident causing the network to slow and transactions to fail. However, Solana Labs co-founder Anatoly Yakovenko denied there had been a DDoS on this occasion. So a couple things I want to put. This kind of goes down. The headline is self-explanatory, but I do want to talk about this not only for the sake of Solana, but all new projects. What's going on with Solana with this additional network outage, the third time being in a few months or weeks or however they say it? Yes, this is them scaling. This is what we are trying to tell you about and talk about when you look at these projects, especially some of the newer ones, and you're like, oh, this thing is going to take over this, is going to beat out Ethereum, is going to beat out this, that, and the other. Not saying these things cannot happen, but as they are, is a very in a very novel stage. They haven't matured yet. They're brand new. Scaling is an issue every project will go through. That is why whenever these projects say we have the fastest transactions, we have the fastest this, we're the most efficient at that, it's like, who is using the project? Not that many people are using it, which is why it's the fastest. The moment you have a lot of people using it, you will run into scaling issues. And that's just one of the issues it takes to succeed as a project. Not to mention the regulatory environment after you get through these scaling issues. But what Solana is going through right now isn't unique to just Solana. It's going to happen with every new project, and they're going through it. This is also why you have to be realistic when it comes to how you value these projects and the time frames you actually look at the trade in and out, invest in and out, wherever you call it. This is why all this is important, because people are looking at Solana already, as well as Cardano, saying, hey, these are the Ethereum competitors. They're going to beat Ethereum, whatever. In reality, right now, it's a speculative play. It is a speculative play, again, because they get to watch Ethereum make mistakes or do great things and essentially copy it. But it's a speculative play because we don't know how they're going to deal with scaling. A lot of projects actually fail during this stage of scaling. I don't think Solana will fail. I think they will figure it out. They have too much money involved at this point to fail. They should be able to hire up any great developer out there to get started or get to work on the project. But this is an issue they will encounter. And it won't just be right now. It's going to be like literally the same as look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin really got the scaling like settled the last few years for the most part. So essentially it took about 10 years for Bitcoin to figure out this first layer of scaling. And as it becomes more mainstream, Bitcoin will have to figure out more ways to scale even more efficiently, but they had to go through it. So again, this is the first wave of Solana having to go through it. I say in about another 2 or 3 years, if Solana is still around and going strong, they'll have to go through it again. The same thing we're seeing with Ethereum and so on and so forth. So just something to consider when you're looking at these platforms as investments and stuff. Know that they still have a lot of legwork to go through before they turn into the unicorn that they are. But again, if you believe in these companies, you should be looking at them again at the top of January from square one, especially when they are going through issues like scaling. That shows you how early you are in the project. So again, I'm sure they'll figure out. It was interesting to see that they said this time it wasn't a DDoS attack, which means at one point it was a DDoS attack. Bitcoin essentially went through a DDoS attack. If you remember during SegWit and the whole SegWit 2x debate and all that on and so forth, afterwards, once Bitcoin Cash was launched, a lot of people said it was, the Roger Ver puppets that were intentionally clogging the Bitcoin network by trying to do like 25-cent transactions, 50-cent transactions, but they were trying to do thousands of 25-cent transactions, thousands of dollar transactions, and to intentionally clog the network and to raise network fees and to get people off of the Bitcoin network over to Bcash. That was that game plan at that time. It didn't work out because that's a very costly thing to do, to keep trying to congest the network, essentially using monetary transactions. So it didn't last for forever. It lasted for realistically about 2 or 3 months before it kind of laid off. But I think that's the same thing that's happening to Solana. And I think that's the same thing that's going to happen to every competitor of a major project out here. Remember, this is the wild, wild west. There is no stopping a project from getting developers or getting some type of hacker or whatever and saying, hey, DDoS the hell out of our competitor. Like, We have seen it happen to Bitcoin, and no one even owns Bitcoin. So if you think it can happen to a project where there's no owner, then you better believe it's going to happen to a project with an owner, with a CEO, with a group of people behind it. They're definitely going to try to DDoS the hell out of that to slow up whatever movement you have going on. So again, no big deal here, but we want to point that out because this is par for the course when it comes to new projects. Let me check out the comments really quick, see what we have over here. What's going on, Tiffany, Barty? What's going on, Cornelius? Parabolic says BTX goes sideways and my portfolio tripled. Bitcoin goes sideways. There we go. Let's see. Ko Singh. Okay, he's mentioned Chainlink. I do remember that. What's going on, Satoshi Slim, Ali Pio? Parabolic said there's always big games. I don't think any of you guys use the proper systems that we use in DeFi because, man, y'all be missing out. Oh, always big games. Yeah, we actually talked about that in the Q&A yesterday. There are always, you're right, there is always a big gain, especially on the DeFi side. It's about how much research people are willing to put into it. I mentioned yesterday in the Q&A, like, yes, it takes 6 to 8 hours to research like one project on the low end. That's not even on the high end, right? On the low end, it takes like 6 to 8 hours. So if you are putting 20 to 30 hours a week into the DeFi sector and looking for those big gains, they actually are there. You just really have to do your due diligence to make sure you're not slipping up. Let's see. And Parabolic said he know where to go, so check him out, I guess. Cole said, I may dump Solana, not confident in the security. This is the second or third DDoS attack since SBF talked with Congress in December. So that's my point. That is my point too, as far as the DDoS attacks came after he talked to Congress. It's competitors. It's literally a competitor out there like, oh shit, you're talking to Congress, the United States, like you're getting bigger. This might be a thing. Time to slow you down. DDoS, learn how to scale. So again, I'm not saying this is a dump for it. I think, like I said, I do think they can work through it, but every project for the most part that has tried to go mainstream, scaling is an issue they face. And especially if someone or someone's are doing DDoS attacks against them. It's not necessarily the project fault, it's just something they got to learn to work through essentially. Let's see, S1 Dove says Solana going through the gauntlet right now. Will be interesting to see how they come out on the other side. Another quote, this is the next Michael Jordan coin perhaps. Let's see, Euro auto enthusiast, scaling issues is what's keeping me from investing just yet. So that's the flip side, right? Some people say I'm going to sit on the sidelines while they're going through scaling issues. But the thing about that is as soon as they get through it, and that news update breaks or whatever, hey, we can do this many transactions per minute, per second. We fix this, we figure that out. Like, because scaling is a technical issue. It's literally a technical issue. Even DDoS is like technical issues. This is happening to our network in the back end. These are things we can do to fix it or to at least decrease this from happening again. They're technical issues. I do believe most technical issues, especially scaling in this space and so many other projects have already had to scale. I think technical issues can be fixed. But now I say all that because if they do fix it and they throw out that tweet or that message or whatever, like the price will jump overnight type of deal. So then it becomes one of those things where shit, am I going to wait until it goes up another 30 or 40% after they fix some things and jumped in, which isn't the worst thing, because even if it were to go up, let's say another 50%, $168, let's say it goes up to like almost what, $300 or whatever. Even then, if everything is working right, that's still a low price point for the value of it if it's working. So those are my thoughts there. Let's see. Michael Kennedy, I'm expecting Phantom to probably make a push for new highs this week. Okay, I've been seeing a lot of news about Phantom. Paris said, LOL, literally just bought some when I woke up without looking at the news. LOL. Hey, that's why we're here Monday through Friday right here, right now. Let's see, what else do we have? Cole Singh said, hold my 10 and see how it shakes out the rest of the year. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm still holding Solana as well. I'm still in it also. I believe that they can figure out these scaling issues. And not only that, he sat in front of Congress. Like, he can't fail. You got to understand how this game is really played. Once you sit in front of Congress, oh, you can't be losing people money. You on the radar now. No. And not be an American company and losing people money. Can't do that. It's too late. He's too big to fail. I think they'll figure it out. But of course, as we always say, we'll see. All right. Hemp grower crowdfunds court case tokenizes shares in settlement. This was a very interesting story. First time I ever seen anything like this. We might be looking at a new buzzword for the short period. I will say short because I don't think this thing is going to stick. I'll tell you why. But the initial litigation offering is being used to help a hemp grower crowdfund legal fees in a fight against California, and has important implications for a new type of fundraising with crypto. I thought fundraising was one word. Why do they have that as two words? I could be wrong though. Hemp grower Apotheo has raised $330,000 for a lawsuit against Kern County, California, via what's known as an initial litigation offer on the Republic investment platform. Investments are accepted in USD, but proof of investment is issued as digital tokens on the Avalanche blockchain network. It's the first initial litigation offer, ILO, they're calling it, on the Republic platform, which launched in 2016 and is designed for equity crowdfunding. The hemp grower is seeking compensation from the county for damages incurred when deputies in California's Department of Fish and Wildlife allegedly bulldozed 450 acres of crops worth up to $1 billion. If this is the actual, I think I actually saw this story in the news when it happened. So I'll give some background to it too in a moment. It looks like Apotheo's attorney, Kyle Roach, told Cointelegraph there are many benefits to crowdfunding legal cases via cryptocurrency investments. Court systems work really well, as being quoted said. They're just expensive. If you can fix the barriers based on cost by allowing capital to flow into the system where it's needed, I believe ILOs can be a positive force for access to justice. Oh my goodness, we are ILO. That's a new buzzword. It's like 4 or 5 times in the article. Again, litigation funding investments is where third-party investors unrelated to a case can provide funds to a litigant in a court case and earn a return on their investment based on the outcome of the case. Under an ILO fund, contributors receive digital tokens that entitle them to a portion of any damages recovered as a result of the ruling in the case. So let me say this. Well, first, his last comment by Roach, he said, using crypto isn't a challenge, but we need to make sure the regulatory tools work for what the ILO is doing. All right. First thing I want to point out is this. How, I know a lot of people in this space say, hey, whoever people out there, podcasters, YouTubers, whatever, influencers, gurus, whatever you want to call other human beings that you listen to for whatever reason, whatever you want to call them, people are saying that, hey, some of these people are promoting things, are sponsoring things, and aren't saying it. They want you to buy into it so they can sell their bags, right? This to me is essentially something similar. You have to be out of your mind if you think out of the blue, an author, Brian here from Cointelegraph, just woke up and was like, I heard of this thing called ILO. I'm gonna do some research and write a whole article on ILOs and about the specific case that's happening. Come on, people. Like, that's not the way this thing works here. What more than likely happened is this Republic investment platform wrote this article up, gave them all the details about what's happening. This is the way you actually get sourced on platforms. You write the article for them. You leave room for them to change a few things, make it their own, but you essentially write the entire article for them, almost as like a news release or press release, but in an article form as a feature, and then you just hand it over. And that is probably what happened, because this is the first time we ever heard of ILO, and Republic is the person to benefit from it. So it makes sense for them to have a PR and marketing team to write up an article to send over to Cointelegraph and to tell them about this use case and what's going on and how Republic is the people to go after for it. So I just want to throw it out there. First and foremost, this is probably like a Republic sponsored, unsponsored ad, if you kind of get that. Second thing, but not saying nothing's wrong with it, just throwing it out there. Second thing I want to point out, I'm pretty sure I did see this case recently in California. California police, sheriffs, all these other people, from their point of view, they're saying that these grows are illegal, and they're calling anyone who's doing an illegal grow essentially like a cartel. That's the narrative they're saying. They're like, I don't care if you're a mom and pop, if it's illegal and you're working with other mom and pops, that's a cartel. But to the news and to the mainstream, when we hear cartel, we're thinking of like Mexican mafia, Mexican cartel, killing people and all that. But that's not actually every case. Many cases are mom and pops, rather not having all the regulations and licenses up to date, or even having them, but for whatever reason, the government not liking or I would say appreciating how they do business. They're saying whatever they're doing is illegal. They're finding loopholes. And instead, when they push back and they kill and they destroy these grows, as they say, they bulldoze them, they're telling people in the media and the news, hey, these are cartels working together. We're trying to get rid of it. And literally throughout California, everybody's like, we have this cartel problem with marijuana, when by and large, it's like mom and pops that may not have the licensing or doing something illegal, and they're calling the whole thing a cartel. If I remember correctly, that's what happened with this grow itself. I do remember this big bust, and I also remember it being called a cartel when it happened. Now, just want to throw that out there because you're essentially saying that with this ILO, let me bring this article up. Republic Investment, this plaintiff, everyone involved in this is essentially saying not only is the government calling mom and pops cartels, and they are saying that their grows are illegal, but clearly California is saying they're illegal and they're moving forward and bulldozing them. Even with this ILO, even if people give you $330,000, give you $1 million to fight this case, people are donating to you to go against the United States government. In California, the California state government has already shown you how they feel about what they consider illegal grows. We know how the federal government feels about marijuana in general. And then when you talk about justice, we know how the entire nation feels about justice as well. It does not work like that. So I highly doubt this ILO thing is going to take off. Reason being is because, for one, it sounds and reads like security just going off with ICOs. They didn't want ICOs to happen. They turned to STOs, basically promising people back capital for what they put in. That's what this is doing. They say if you put in on this lawsuit, essentially you get capital back. It reads like a security to the securities division. I don't agree with it, but they will agree with it, and they'll try to push that. Then on top of it, for the individuals that donate to this, from what it looks like on Republic, once you donate, as they say, proof of investment is issued in digital tokens. They take it in USD. I'm pretty sure they're going to have your name for KYC AML when you donate to this. So not only that, you could potentially be making yourself a target when it comes to the state and federal authorities for trying to team up and going after the government through a lawsuit. So again, that's my thing. I don't think the ILO things will work. If they do work, I mean, that would be huge. Like an ILO, do you know how big that is for investments? That would be huge investments. There's so many lawsuits people would jump on and take the back end. For those who don't know, I used to do marketing for mass torts. That's the lawyers who sue pharmaceutical companies. I used to be in Texas all the time, working with the lawyers down there suing pharmaceutical companies. I work with some in Alabama. I know the lawyer who actually sued Johnson & Johnson for the talcum powder causing cervical cancer. Like, I know all types of medical stuff I shouldn't know. But my point is, with those deals, when it comes to mass tort, one of the ways you make your money is by bringing these legal cases up. So finding people who have cervical cancer, that's probably from Johnson & Johnson. You give them, say, 30 of those people, and then you take a percentage off the back end once the case is settled and the money has been awarded. So they say, hey, we just did it out of this civil action suit or whatever class action suit. We just been awarded $100 million, whatever. Each plaintiff gets this amount, and then the people who brought those plaintiffs get the percentage on the back end. There's a ton of money to be made in investing in lawsuits. So again, if this were to happen, I think this would be huge. This would be huge for the industry. We see a lot more money coming to cryptocurrency. But again, bottom line, if you think the government is going to sit by and let us paltry civilians gang up on them through ILOs, like, come on, people, like, come on. We know that's not going to happen. Like, we know that's not, especially in the name of justice. You think you in the name of justice, I need some capital to sue the government. Good luck. But like I said, I can already, if I can figure out the workaround, I know they can. And the workaround is going to be, that's a security. But if it doesn't become a security, of course, we'll keep track. This might be the new 2022 thing that we didn't see coming. First, it was DeFi, NFTs, GameFi, and all of a sudden we got ILOs. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, we'll definitely be paying attention. Rico San Diego, what's going on? Said cartel equals an association of manufacturers or suppliers with the purpose of maintaining prices at a high level in wresting competition. You are correct. So in that true definition, then some of these would work as cartels. I do agree with you. But again, for the narrative that they're really pushing, it's like more of like the Mexican drug, we're going to kill everybody cartels. That's kind of the narrative that's been pushed. But hey, I have no beef with the state of California federal government. This isn't my beef. I've already talked to many marijuana people in the cannabis business, and I've said, hey, you should have been using cryptocurrency. A lot of those replies back to me from many, I'm talking about actual farmers. So I know farmers in California, like whether it's farmers, dispensary owners, everybody. The pushback I've got is, well, hey, the federal government already doesn't like cannabis, so the last thing we want to do is add crypto to it because they'll really come after us. Okay, they're going to come after you anyway, so play their game and see if you can win, I guess. But gang is going to gang. All right, let's see what else we have. I'm looking at the comments section. Aaron says, so great point. So if you donate to a cartel's legal fees, are you technically funding a cartel? My point exactly. There's so many ways to destroy this ILO thing. That's one of them right now. The government, the state of California, has been making good money off marijuana. It's essentially, yes, it's a pay to play just like it is in every other state. But yeah, if they're labeling you a cartel or they're destroying $1 billion, what's worth $1 billion in hemp or cannabis, whatever, they're not going to do it because they're saying it's legal and we're going to destroy it. They're destroying it because they're saying you're doing something illegal. So yeah, I mean, that's a good point. If you were to give capital to donate to their legal fees, would they actually wrap you up into it as well? Now, the article did put out, this is for people not involved in the case. But again, that's what I mean. You will come under fire, I think, if you're an individual citizen that tries to say, hey, let me help out this person against this court case against the government. All right, the government gonna be like, all right, who all helping them? Let's sanction these people. Let's go after these people. They will go after you. Let's see, Satoshi Slim said, just like the masses against Bitcoin in El Salvador was just a handful of elderly people with some printouts looking off into the distance. It's a media play. Yes, it's a definite media play. But again, that article piqued my interest because the ILOs, if it does become a thing, that might be the new thing. Like we saw how big ICOs were. You can make a lot of money in the legal market. If you are allowed to back court cases, you better believe I'll be in the lab all weekend finding some wins and be like, I'll throw a couple of G's here or there, see if they can win this case and see what happens. All right, top Bitcoin mining country, Kazakhstan turns off internet amid protests. The government of Kazakhstan shut down the internet after the cabinet resigned amid major anti-government protests. I thought this was a pretty cool story to point out because people always say, what happens if the internet goes down? We can't use Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not true at this point because we have satellites up for Bitcoin thanks to Blockstream. And there are workarounds. Now people are trying to do workarounds with radio signals and so on and so forth. The big thing was what happens if the internet shuts down? Our reply, as many replies were, the internet shuts down, you have way more to worry about than just Bitcoin. Like right now, if the internet shuts down, using USD, using cash is going to be very difficult to do because how would you even get money out the bank if all the internet's shut down? It would be very difficult to do. But Kazakhstan, which boasts the second largest Bitcoin mining hash rate in the world, is experiencing major internet disruptions amid local anti-government protests. Network data provider NetBlocks reported Wednesday that Kazakhstan was in the midst of a nation-scale internet blackout after a day of mobile internet disruptions and partial restrictions. According to the data, the normalized network connectivity in Kazakhstan fell to 2% on Wednesday. Goodness gracious. And look at this. I mean, literally was at 100% to 2%. This, to me, is an even bigger reason why Bitcoin is important. Bitcoin is important. The Bitcoin network and blockchain is important. And to go a step further, this is why like freedom of technology is important. Like everyone should be able to log on the internet throughout the planet. It shouldn't be, well, we got to use these providers and this and that. Countries do this to control it. Same as China does it to control it. The US does it to control it too. There's some websites you can't get in through the US. And Kazakhstan, it looks like they are taking the cake when it comes to controlling it. They say, hey, we'll shut this whole shit off. How about that? Kazakh Telecom, the largest telecom company in Kazakhstan, shut down the internet across the nation, according to some reports. Cellular networks have reportedly also been disabled in some cities, such as Almaty. And here's the crazy thing when it comes to government, corporations, they think this will actually stop something. If anything, it will help them win. It will give them leverage. It will give them a head start. But when you start doing things like shutting down the internet, especially in this day and age, people will find a workaround. I guarantee you there's people in Kazakhstan right now like, fine, we can't use the government as we know it, or excuse me, we can't use the internet as we know it through our government and through these private corporations. I can guarantee you someone's figuring out a workaround and say, hey, now every citizen can access the internet anywhere. Connect here, do this, do that, and other, and boom, internet, whether you have a telecom company or not. It's crazy to me to see large organizations make moves like this thinking, oh, we're going to stop these humans. We're going to stop people from being people. No, humans are very adaptable. I think humans will adapt. But again, I wanted to point that story out because the worst fear for Bitcoin for some people is actually happening. And that's the internet being shut down. But again, if you look into what's going on in Kazakhstan, the last thing they're thinking about is Bitcoin and money at this point. I mean, as you can see here, they said it's confirmed real from a tweet, of course, National Guard troops being captured by protesters. This is my worry, people. This is my worry right here. When we say Bitcoin reaches $1 million or about $300,000 and everybody's doing what they want in X, Y, and Z, I am telling you now, the government is not going to lay there and watch everyone get rich, stop going to work, and do their own thing. They're going to make drastic measures. And Kazakhstan is showing us that, yes, there are governments and companies around the world that will take drastic measures, including turning off the entire internet. So again, that thing fell from 100% to 2%. But like I said, we'll continue to monitor it. I want to see what workarounds come out from this. I think we will see workarounds from this. I don't think the entire country overnight is just going to stop using the internet just because one person said you can't anymore. I mean, that's ridiculous right now. Let's see. Excuse me. Rico San Diego. Can you VPN OKCoin if you live in an unlicensed state? No, because the way OKCoin is doing it, even if you were to VPN to get on there, you can't actually add funds or take funds off without doing the KYC. So regardless, even if you somehow were to get your capital on there, you would not be able to get it off. So it's not even worth it. Aaron said we need a decentralized internet with satellites and everything. I will crowdfund that. Again, I think more of that's coming because of the way China's doing the internet, the way Kazakhstan's clearly doing the internet. And then again, I'm not going to say the US is exempt. We're way better than the most, like by far, but we're not exempt. There's many things, like there's a couple of websites we try to do with crypto we can't get on in the United States. Like it just is what it is. Let's see, Michael Kennedy. You know what? I was actually thinking about that when it happened. Maybe this would give us some lower hash rates again so I can make more Bitcoin when I mine. What's interesting is that we just hit one of the all-time highs of hash rates. Again, you know, Bitcoin, they said price is going to follow that hash rate. It's crazy how we just hit that high of a hash rate. And then 24 to 48 hours later, the top country doing it, we're going to go ahead and shut the internet off. That is a crazy story. Again, I know conspiracy theories live in this space, but also some have been proven to be true. So I would just say it's kind of crazy. Wyatt said, didn't their government raise energy prices the same day too? I don't know if that's the case, but that would be crazy if it happened. That would be crazy. Let's see. Paris, would they have the same issue with the government wrapping them up into cases of donation? The donation is in Monero. So again, going back to that last story with the ILO, it looked like that investment platform that was actually taking the funds and turning it into crypto. That was my point. I think they were still KYC AML. An investment platform, an investment company, they're not going to risk their entire company and the licenses they have just to get 2 or 3 people in there without doing KYC. They're going to do everybody. They wouldn't risk that, in my opinion. All right. Make sure you smash that like and share as well, people, as we keep going. Oh my goodness. Got to talk about this one right here. Sergeant Crypto said that's no coincidence. I kind of said the same, I mean, literally, we just, Bitcoin hash rate is the highest it's ever been. We're back to all times this. Bitcoin say, the price is going to follow. The next day, top miners in the world shut that whole shit down. That's crazy when the way that works. That's really crazy when you actually look about that. All right, really quick. Let's see. Chloe said, can someone please post a link for video on how to transfer from Coinbase to hard wallet? We actually, Bitcoin Zay did a video back in 2018. It's still on our channel. If you go to YouTube in the search bar, type in the gentleman of crypto, how to get off Coinbase. And that should show you there. We actually checked that video out the other day, someone asked, and it's still pretty timely as well. So there you go. PFC Wells going on track said, OKCoin is hitting you. I just scroll down. Hold on, let me try to see if I can find your comment. OKCoin is hitting you with 1099s. So that means KYC at SS level for sure as well. Keith, thank you for the tip. Legit caught the tail end of a live show. Left a like. Much appreciated, Keith. Much appreciated. All right, let's talk about this LGBTQ ABCDEFG token. I'm not trying to mess with nobody. Actually, yeah, let me say some rude shit. Hopefully we can get this bad boy canceled or something, or I don't know, make it go viral or something. Do I need to say something rude about them? Is that the way the game works? You got to piss them off, and then it's like saying Candyman in the mirror. Is that what you say something bad 3 times about the LGBTQ community? They make sure you make more money than you did last year. More people know you. All right, serious note. New LGBTQ token aims for the equity, but raises red flags with community. That's right. While sporting a questionable name, the Coins Project says it wants to enable a social and ethical payment method. I'm not even going to go through the nitty-gritty details. I'm going to give you the key things in this because the headline is it says it all. Crypto community has raised some concerns about what's being called Marycoin or Maricoin, M-Coin, a new token supposedly related to the LGBTQ plus. Do you have to add the plus out loud? Community, with some people even suspecting the project to be a scam. It was launched in December 2021. Marycoin promises to enable a social, ethical, transparent, and transversal means of payment targeting the global pink economy, which is estimated to amount to trillions of dollars. One might question Marycoin's ethics, as this story says, though, as his name is actually, I don't know as well, a portmanteau. I never even heard that word. I got to Google that to show. That plays on a Spanish homophobic slur. Oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. And it also shows the ridiculousness of the market if this is true. If this is a LGBTQ coin and they're actually playing off of the slur and people are still thinking it's for the community, like that just shows you the dumb money that's here. But it looks like, according to the website, it's going to be run on the Algorand blockchain. Creators are planning to list the token on several exchanges in 2022. The project was reportedly founded in Madrid by a local hairdresser and entrepreneur, Juan Belmonte, who said the new token is designed to help the community profit by providing a new payments method for LGBT friendly businesses worldwide. It looks like 8,000 people are already to buy it as of January. Now, the name of whatever, let me find out where it says his name is at. Because like I said, the name was a homophobic slur when I saw, I could see it in an article. Essentially, they said, Mary, there it is. So I haven't mentioned it sooner, you can see on this tweet, because I thought it was a troll joke, but no, we have a new LGBT cryptocurrency in Spain called Marycoin, which is a wordplay on Maricon, which means faggot. We have a faggot coin because apparently gays couldn't buy Bitcoin. He put but Bitcoin. I'm assuming he put buy Bitcoin, I guess. And then going up to another tweet that says this 100% feels like a scam. You need to fill out a Google form. That is 100% scam. You need to fill out a Google form to indicate how much you want to invest in Marycoin. Yet these people who publish this are likely a scam without much skepticism. Maybe everyone involved is oblivious, but this appears to be a textbook scam. All right, I talked more about this than I wanted to. So basic thing, we were asked the other day about the A-Coin. During the Q&A yesterday, we talked about all the new projects coming out and what project we like most. So let me reiterate on this show. I like Bitcoin more than anything. I mess with other altcoins because I'm a degen, like some of you. I like to go on these altcoin markets, get these big gains, and come back over to Bitcoin too, right? Especially as you grow in your portfolio. When you have Bitcoin, you're not touching, and you're just like, well, okay, well, all the new money, I'll go this direction to try to flip it to bring it back to Bitcoin. But the bottom line, I said this in the Q&A yesterday when it comes to doing your own research. The first question you should be asking almost every project is, why can't you do this with Bitcoin? And I'm guaranteeing you all, like literally, at least 95% of the projects out there can be done with Bitcoin, which is also why the United States comes out and say, although 95% of projects are securities, they're going to fall. They're literally going to fall overnight. They won't have no recourse to say otherwise. Now, I'll put all that out there because this does seem like a scam, not just because of the name that's playing against a slur, but also because of what they want to do. This guy who created it said that the new token is designed to help the community profit. Like, this is the big thing in this entire space. There are two types of people in here. There are people who are in here primarily for the technology. There's people primarily in here for the profit, the get rich quick scheme. Nothing wrong with that. However, when you start to develop and create projects based on profit thinking first, in this space, from what I've seen, it does not often work out. Usually you have to solve a problem. And the problem you're solving is, hey, we can make more money and take more profit. And that's not really solving a real problem. You could create a new business and take more money and get more profits, whoever. So my pushback against this is not only does it look like a scam because you're filling out Google forms and all that, but just like every other coin that's literally trying to appeal to a very certain crowd, usually a social dynamic to it or demographic when it comes to, this is for tall people, this is for white people, this is for black people, this is for gay people, this is for that people. More than likely, you can do it with Bitcoin. Bottom line, you can do it with Bitcoin. So I'm pushing back against this project, clearly not because of the name. I can care less who you are or what you do, blah, blah, blah. I like to mind my own business, but I am pushing back because it makes no sense. Just like, no offense, all about the support, but A-Coin, hey, I'm doing this for the community, blah, blah, blah. Why you name it after your name then? Name it Bundle of Joy Coin. Like, why did you name it after your name? So that's my thought on this LGBTQ coin. I like this Twitter guy said, I don't know if this was like a troll or not, especially if it is a play on that slur. That's kind of crazy for it to be a play on that slur and people still ape into it because right under it, it says, but it's for the community. If this is true, it's definitely a scam. And the people who get scammed deserve it because they're out here investing with their emotions instead of actually looking at the value of a project and what it does and what it could do. Those are my thoughts. Let me look at the comment section and see what you all think as well. Untwisting the Game Crypto said there was a gay token back in 2017, total scam. Like that's put it like this. After this whole thing goes over, whether they do well or not, give it 2 or 3 years. There's going to be another LGBTQ token. There will be another Black token. There will be another only for white racist token. There will be another only for like, I mean, that's just one of the things as far as building community. Let's see. I would rather them just build a community. Don't even say like for profit. Just be like, we want our own token for us to use that we identify with and others who use it can use it to show their support of us. Like something like that makes more sense where you're literally coming out and saying, hey, you can do Bitcoin for this. We know it, but we're literally just choosing to use this to show support for this certain community. To me, that would kind of make it like, all right, I can get behind that, but it doesn't make sense. Let's see. Cole Singh said, I am an ally is a cover phrase I use to not get canceled. Hilarious. For sure is laughing at me because I said you had to say the plus out loud. That was a real question. Let's see. Alpha Bitcoin. Say you're a fan of Dave Chappelle. Hilarious. Yeah, if you're not a fan of Dave Chappelle, then you better get this coin. I was playing. Let's see. Fast Nickel MV. How funny that the two enemy coins, XRP and Berry, will be the saviors. Hilarious, but possibly true. That would be crazy if Veritasium XRP were the saviors of the altcoin market after they've been through so much. That would be crazy. Chloe Dior, thank you for the tip. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Let's see. Who else do we have? Someone else said I'm in it for the LOLs. Hilarious. S1 Dub said King and Zay did this show wearing wigs. They would have 1 million subscribers. Oh, don't you know? Don't you know? All right. I think that's about it. Oh, you know what, Michael Kenny, I'm glad you brought this up. I just saw this. So I haven't done my due diligence. I actually have these windows open. If you don't have Magic Cat and you like Spooky Swap, might want to pick one up before they announce the new updates though. I heard something about the Magic Cat and Spooky Swap as of recent. I have not done my homework on it, but I do have those windows open. Hopefully I can look into it before they actually do whatever there is they're going to do. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Guy Remy said tomorrow, January 6th. So the MAGA coin is probably going to drop. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, there was tokens for everything. It was Kanye coins, Trump coins. It was all type of coins happening. All right, last couple of quick stories. Blockchain and metaverse make inroads at Consumer Electronics Show. People, huge news. Samsung will feature its developments in metaverse technology with several other companies showcasing blockchain, NFT, and crypto integrations with the metaverse. So again, this story, the news is in the headline, but if you don't know, oh my goodness, you're missing out. Consumer Electronics Show is in Las Vegas this week. This is probably one of the biggest, if not the largest electronics show, I think, in North America. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But as you can see, there'll be keynote speeches from LG, Samsung, Amazon, NVIDIA, Sony, like literally anyone and everyone in the tech space. And it looks like this year will be one of the first year with crypto NFT companies having a notable actual presence there to these gadget makers and TV manufacturers. Again, as this story says, they'll be going over different stable coins, different NFTs, different things in the metaverse. And it looks like Samsung is actually broaching this. Now, the reason why this is huge news, for one, if you haven't noticed, the companies that are actually there are all the big tech companies on the planet, like first and foremost. So just the tech companies there are big, not to mention the business owners that go there. Now, there are a lot of like just retail, whether investors or consumers that go there just like, hey, I want to buy new technology. I want to spend my money. I just want to see what's happening. I want to stay up to date. But there's also a lot of businesses that go there looking for the next edge, the next piece of technology, the next whatever. I say that because I like personally know two people, one of which over the $100 million club, who goes there every year looking for an edge. So when you have people like individuals who have net worths of 9 figures or more, I mean, listen, you can go less, 50 million, $10 million individual. I know a ton of people worth a few million that go every year. When you have this type of crowd going, that are business owners, This is huge. When they go there now, they're learning about NFTs and metaverse and play to earn and GameFi and all this other stuff. All that to me says more institutional investments, more accredited investors, all that old guard stuff will start to flow over. So I think this is going to be big news. And I think we need to watch the metaverse, specifically the metaverse, in the next, I would say, 3 to 5 weeks to see if anything comes out of this. Because like I said, there are some big people there. All it takes is for one person to walk in there and Samsung or somebody else is talking in this new metaverse and they say, oh, I like this. I heard about this, blah, blah, blah. I miss Axie Infinity. I miss Sandbox or whatever. How can I give you a quick 2 mil right now or whatever? And that project already has a token or that project is already up and running. Like we can literally see the reflection of that within like 3 to 5 weeks if something were to happen. Now, again, this is probably their first time there. So I want to expect a quick capital raise or buy-in. But at the same time, this is a base hit, as I always call it. This is a base hit to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency being a home run. I mean, you have NFTs and metaverse at CES. Again, people, this is huge news, very big news right there. Shout out to CES for being welcoming and accepting to it as well, because there's been a lot of other tech shows, conferences, so on and so forth, that was not and still are not accepting of things cryptocurrency or coming from this industry. So shout out to CES. Let's see, what else do we have going on in the chat? Megan Gomes, what's going on? This is talking about Project Finn. Any chance for a helium segment? One of my favorites. We'll look into it. Possibly we do. I know a lot of people have been talking helium like crazy, so we'll check it out as well. There we go. Aunt Carino, what's going on, Aunt Carino? Said, thanks, Jake Fever. Received my Ben Dope sweatshirt. Made it before Christmas. Yeah, for those who like that Ben Dope hoodie I wear, check out Jake Fever. And then if you like this Africa Must Unite, make sure you check out Yimmy O. He has these as well. Michael Kennedy said, I'm very bullish on Spooky Swap and their team. All right. Again, I'm going to pay attention to that because Michael usually drops some gems. He knows what he's talking about. He's in this space a lot. There we go. Knowledge Mindset said, if the internet goes down, we can always use radio waves on the mesh network. There we go. Let's see. A-Train Crypto. Samsung is one of the best integrators of apps on their smart TVs. So they're going to get metaverse integration right into your living room real quick. Woo, mind blown. And that's my point right there. A-Train Crypto, hot take. I agree with you. They have the smart TVs. They have all types of APIs to integrate things. So yeah, the day metaverse is fully ready to go, at least for a small part of mainstream adoption. And I don't know if it's going to be the Oculus or whatever you're going to use to actually jump into the metaverse. That's going to be the thing. But the moment you have that, you're right. Like literally it'll be the next iteration of smart TVs coming out that already has like a metaverse, Decentraland, Sandbox, Crypto Box, those apps preloaded where you can just jump into it and start hopefully either earning crypto or even spending crypto all from your smart TV. Crazy. But again, that's the power of CES. That is where these conversations will happen at this week, Wednesday through Friday. So if you're in Vegas, try to check that out. Let us know what you see and hear if you're there. All right, what else do we have? Michael Kennedy said, HBO sucks on Samsung TV. Doesn't work half the time, but A-Train said, I think that's HBO's fault. Hilarious. All right. Yes, metaverse is the big. All right. Last but not least, just want to give a shout out to Airbnb and the CEO. Airbnb users want crypto payment options, according to CEO Twitter poll. Airbnb CEO suggested that the platform's possible crypto payment option would not be restricted to 1 or 2 digital currencies, nor should it be. Again, if you're a business owner or somebody out there who knows business owners who's trying to get them to accept crypto, you can literally accept, I'm not going to say all of them because there's so many new ones popping up every day that I was talking to a company the other day, and heads up, we might promote it, but I'll definitely say it in the video and before and after the show. A company, excuse me, a company basically wants you to mine like Yield Farm or an internal token they have. And it's like the conversation literally stopped there. Like I didn't even have the same thing they said. I'm like, come on, bro. An internal token that you can't swap or trade or find anything for anywhere, right? And whatever. Like it was funny to me, but whatever. I don't even know why I brought that up. But the point is, look, it's not hard to accept all the digital currencies out there. Like there's so many platforms, like I said, coin payments, Bit. Oh, that was my point. For the thousands of coins popping up for coins like that, then of course you won't be able to accept them. but using like coin payments, BitPay, and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure on top of my head, you can accept like 200 or 300 of like the top cryptocurrencies out there. From there, you can decide how much you want to turn to cash, fiat currency, how much you want to turn to Bitcoin, how much you want to keep in each. Like there's so many things to do. So the fact that some of these companies are saying, well, we can only accept one or two, that's crazy. Now, what I do agree with and what we also do is only accept them from certain chains. I don't accept anything coming from Tron or Binance. I don't want to. It needs to be from Bitcoin or Ethereum for me right now. So you can do that where you say I only accept certain chains or only accept it off certain networks. But to just say I'm only going to accept one or two certain like cryptocurrencies, that makes zero sense, especially as a business where you can easily transfer them over to the crypto or cash of your choice without having to do anything. Like literally, you just click one of those on or off switches and it does it. So, but again, this is Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky tweeted on Polo Monday asking his roughly 400,000 followers what they wanted from the rental platform in 2022. Chesky revealed today that the majority of respondents want to be able to pay with Bitcoin or other popular digital currencies when renting their next house or apartment on Airbnb. Other requests included clear pricing displays, loyalty program for visitors, up-to-date cleaning charges, and enhanced customer service. But here you can see this tweet got 4,000 suggestions. Here are the top 6, and he even put top suggestions next to crypto payments, as is, I guess, is probably in the league by a lot. Like that says it all, people. And this makes sense. The sharing economy, when you talk about Airbnb, Uber, like the users of Airbnb and Uber use cryptocurrency. Truly anecdotal, but I'm telling you, it just is what it is. Like I was using Uber when it first came out, like one of the first few people in San Diego using it. Like same with Airbnb, been using it for forever. And I'm telling you, a lot of people I know who use both of those also are into cryptocurrency. So this makes sense. And for Airbnb and places like this, another reason why it makes sense, everybody's buying up the Dogecoin, Shiba, and all that good stuff. Accept it, and change it into Bitcoin and fiat as soon as you get it. Like literally, that would cause more business for you. Why? Because there are already a ton of people who put $10 into Shiba and have a ton of it, right? They got too much money in it, but they can't sell out of it. But they can send it. So why not accept these type of different cryptocurrencies, these far off ones, these meme coins, that you can literally just take and turn into money right in front of your eyes, especially when you talk about services you're providing and not necessarily losing anything. Like you're not trading it out for anything. You're just providing a service. So it makes sense to me. All right, last few comments before we call this a day. I went a little bit longer than I expected, but like talking crypto, of course. Cole Singh said, I was using Uber early in New York City when I couldn't hail a cab up to Harlem. People, I'm gonna tell you how early I was using it. I can tell for a fact, I know I've been using it since 2012, possibly 2013. I would say 2013 at the latest. But I started using Uber so early. All my friends, when they came to see me in San Diego in California, thought I had a private driver. And it was funny. A couple of them, I'll tell them that it just wasn't clicking. I would tell them it's Uber and it's this app. Like they literally was just looking at me blind. And I was like, I got a private driver, bro. Like, I just left it at private driver. People thought I was rich. I'm like, bro, I'm using Uber. And this was at the time when even the black cars, they didn't have anything but black cars and stuff. So every car you got was a high-end car, and you were paying bottom prices for it. Like you pay, $10 to ride in a brand new Lexus or whatever, Mercedes SUV and all that good stuff. So yeah. All right. Gil Remy, do I have any films or project films we should look out for in 2022 to show support? So yeah, if you haven't noticed, and this has to go with business. It's something else I'll be talking about on a different type of podcast. But essentially in business, especially when you get started, you don't want to mix a bunch of stuff. So for me, I don't want to mix Hollywood and crypto as far as when it comes to the things I talk about publicly or whatever. Eventually they will merge, but I really don't talk about publicly. But yes, commercials, got a ton of commercials still coming out this year. And then films, I'll have some pretty shitty ones I'll have come out to build my resume up, but probably toward the end of the year when I'll start doing bigger films. The big commercials still come around the clock. The bigger films will hopefully come end of this year. And that's all I will say when it comes to that is something I'm working on in Hollywood. Talk to a few people about, and that's to get production companies or management firms and everyone to start paying people in crypto. My own, for those who know, I am signed with a modeling agency. I've been for years. And they know it too. I give them a hard time. And I think hopefully this year, next year, we'll start the crypto payments. They have also wanted to do it, but it's just a lot for them right now because they're a pretty big company. So we'll see, but we'll work on it. Sergeant Crypto, what happened to the masterclass meetup last night? We had the masterclass Q&A at 3 p.m. that was recorded. So that recording will go out to masterclass students as well. Let's see. A-Train Crypto said he definitely had that Uber too, was in the city catching black cars day and night, right? Looking like a real boss out there. Brandon May said, why can't you pull out a Shiba? I'm talking about the people who made like, I think the number was like, what was it? $1,000 got you like 500 million or something. I don't know what the number was when people put it in, but essentially a couple people were up like 100 million plus in Shiba. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like you're not pulling that out. You're not about to pull out $200 million of Shiba and the price is going to stay where it's at and you get all 200 million out. You might pull 200 million out and get 15 million or 30 million or something, but you're not going to pull out all 200. So that's all I mean. I mean, for the bigger ones, I'm not talking about, hey, I pulled out my $1,300. I pulled out my $7,000. I'm not talking about that. I'm literally talking about some of the bigger ones. Real talk. I am not the Old Spice guy, but I can pull that one off. I can pull that one off. Let's see. All right. Reno Gamble said, make my day, Airbnb, make it. N Townsend, gentlemen, what are your thoughts on TA versus fundamental analysis? I watch other YouTubers who all have contradictory prediction theories on future pricing. Interested to hear our thoughts. So we might just need to title a video of this and just do a whole video on it. We talked about this the other day. I think that's what we will do. We make this like a 30-minute or hour discussion, have people call in. We'll have some of the TA people call in who only believe in TA. We'll have that whole argument. Maybe that'll be our Fuck Bitcoin Friday 1 week of TA versus fundamental. Here are my thoughts on TA. And I'll say it again. I do believe in, it's not like I don't believe in technical analysis. My point is that this market as a whole is so new and there's so many new things that continuously happen. Like there's so many new black swan events. Like who would have thought the very tasting thing would have just happened? You get what I'm saying? Like the TA won't work for some of this new stuff. It's just too new. Now here's where TA does help at. When I mentioned around Bitcoin's birthday, I said the price should pump or whatever. Like when I mentioned around certain dates and certain events that we've seen happen every year, then you can start looking at TA and comparing charts around time frames, saying this year around Christmas on the buildup, this is when it usually dips. Around Thanksgiving, this is when it usually dips. This is when the buy-ins happen. Like, yeah, you can use charts from the last 3 or 5 years and kind of compare with that. But for me, there's so many new news events happening every day, so many new tweets, so many new things that we just did not expect. It will destroy your TA cause. And again, we saw it happen in 2018. Like literally we went on a 2-year bear market. No one predicted it. Some people called it top, but they didn't call it bear market for that long. Now on the flip side, when it comes to doing TA, here's how I use it. I use it to compare. I said this in the Do Your Own Research part of the masterclass. When I am looking at TA, it's like 3 to 5 different sources of TA I will look at. I will compare those sources and what they're saying. If I decide to do my own, I'll do my own just to look at some stuff. Or if Bitcoin Zay has already done it on a certain project we're both looking at, I'll just get his information and compare it. And then from the TA, I'll take all those comparisons. I'll come up with what I think as far as looking at all the different charts. And then I'll also add my fundamental analysis to it. I'll kind of weigh my risk reward scenario and I go from there. But I don't think you should be using TA on its own by itself, nor should you really be using fundamental on its own all by itself. You should use a combination of both and not just a combination of both from one source. Many sources, people, you're your own bank. And this is what I mean by 6 to 8 hours on the minimum. You're your own bank. You are your own bank. You're your own bank. I can't say it enough times. If you want to be a responsible bank owner and you want to make sure your bank grows, then yes, you're going to have to look at 3 to 5 different charts from different people. You're going to have to do your own fundamental and all that good stuff. Or of course, find you someone you like and try to follow their calls as best as you can. Let's see, Stephen Ferguson. I've been trying to get my company to accept crypto for payments. We are a local moving company out of Greensboro, North Carolina. So perfect example, Stephen. I used to live in G Boring too. Shout out to Greensboro. I used to live in a little mansion right next to the water, that little lake back there. I know all about it. Yes. Shout out to Greensboro. There shouldn't be an issue to get them to do it, especially for a small company in Greensboro. And this is my point. Small companies in Greensboro, North Carolina, they should be the first ones raising their hand to accept crypto because it is nothing but additional and free money for them. And it adds marketing to that company. They seem like they're the new, not only are you a moving company, but you're keeping up with the times. You have new technology. It's a good thing for the company. So it shouldn't be an issue to get it. It's just about getting whoever's in charge then to believe in it. Finn said, I'm shilling today, LOL. But Demo is working on the Helium network so you can mine while driving. PS, you can give up data to do it when you plug it into your car. All right, there we go. And Carino said, honestly, Airbnb was cool years ago. Now almost impossible to manage in major California cities. San Francisco and LA, too many restrictions. Would have been dope for crypto Airbnb in 2015. I'm with you as well. Airbnb isn't what it used to be by any means. A lot of that does have to do with the regulatory environment. So I won't just blame it on them, because when it came out for what it was and was trying to do, it was perfect. But the regulators essentially made them change the business model. So I'm with you. I get it. It's like, is the crypto thing huge in Airbnb in 2022 the same way it would have been? No, but I think it's still a big deal for the company to accept it, especially if they accept it and keep some of it in Bitcoin. That's a big thing with these companies accepting crypto. If you're on the fence, accept cryptocurrency, accept Bitcoin specifically, and keep a little bit in Bitcoin, especially if you aren't losing anything. If you say to yourself, let's say we work 5 days a week for the month, 20 days a month we work. If you can say out of 2 or 3 days of work, if I didn't get paid out of 3 days of work, could I still survive on those other 17 days? The answer is yes. Figure out how to make those 3 days, how you make your money in those 3 days, figure out how to convert it to Bitcoin, like as soon as you make it. And I guarantee your life will be different after a year of just doing that when you start looking at how much Bitcoin from 3 days a month you start to have stacked up. All right. And last couple of comments, but I want to get to Finn. Twitter just posted something about hilarious. Okay, I'm done with you. Crypto and Bitcoin will go through the same things as regulators get on it. Bitcoin, not so much, but cryptocurrency as well. I think so. And let's see, last but not least, going to end it on Kadeem. New York been disrespecting workers since they decided to clap and have a light show instead of a raise and benefits during the lockdowns. All right, there we go. Other than that, that's the show for the day. Make sure you smash that like and share. And of course, we will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news. Make sure you have the notifications turned on as well. We may be doing an AMA tomorrow. If not, it'll get shifted to later this, or excuse me, we might be doing an AMA today. But if not, we might shift it to later this week. So just make sure you're paying attention.